Nächste Station Berlin Lichterfelde Ost.
Time for a spot of late lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. Baguette, some cheese. I'm by the East Side Gallery, which is the wall behind me, going off into the distance. Another little section plant there. Sat on the riverbank. Good morning. I'm down by the tourist attraction that is the remnants of the Berlin Wall. This is the East Side Gallery and I'm stood on the west side. And the west side of this wall is just graffiti. The east side of this wall is some quite cool artwork and graffiti and various projects have been done. This is where I sat and had my dinner last night. Right on the river. Notice the water level's extremely high here. Extremely high. The west just appears to be very tranquil. I'm sure it's not. But the east is all hectic and just this whole area around here for about a mile is just a building site. It's crazy. It's not as if the wall came down yesterday. I think I'm going to walk along the river, so I'm not going to show you the artwork on the other side of the wall. I'm sure this website's devoted to it. It's interesting being on being in a big city like Berlin. Yeah, it'd be nice to spend some time here with some friends and go out and explore some bars. I'm going to go and find somewhere to get coffee in a minute, avoiding the chains and the ones I'm familiar with, find something different. But I'm definitely a country person. I'd definitely rather be walking alone in the downs of southern England or the hills of northern England or the mountains of Wales or Scotland than spending time in these cities. I stayed in a hostel last night. Crikey, that's so noisy. People arriving at 1 a.m. People coming home at 2, 4 and 6 a.m. from nights out. Fair play to them. And then people leaving at 6 and me leaving at 7:30. I've only got a few hours in Berlin today before I get my flight to Paris. Next step of this little trip, where hopefully I'll make an appearance at get to see Paris photo exhibition there, which I'm looking forward to. Right, I'll bring you back. I'm a bit bleary-eyed this morning. I no doubt I will walk a lot of miles again today. I did 12 miles yesterday, walking around countryside on the way to Wittenberg, and then around Berlin. Once I arrived in Berlin, I got off a station early than where I was ticketed to. But rather than catch another train or tram or whatever, I decided to walk from one end pull into the other. It's not a big city, it's not like London, so it wasn't too bad. Fortunately I can't walk along the riverbank here, this hasn't been developed. What a shame. Let me just switch you round. So the riverbank walk ends there. Apartments up there. They've done nothing here. That means I've got to walk all the way back down the bloody wall, and round it anyway. And the hazard of walking down and round is there's tons of bloody Japanese tourists clicking away photos in front of various murals and artwork. Oh well, just have to get in the way. My phone's been playing up last week. Perhaps it doesn't like Germany. The screen keeps going funny. I'm not sure if it's recording the footage properly or whether it's just during recording it looks weird on the screen. I've got pixelating and bands across the screen, so I'm not even sure if this is recording properly or whether it's going to come out crap. It'd be far more realistic if they put razor wire back on the top and a couple of guards in uniform, border guards in uniform. That's what it needs. I like this one, nice and simple. I should imagine that's a popular one for the tourists, of which I'm one. I didn't realise as I was filming the other side of the wall a little while back that I probably got in the back of my shot a homeless guy sleeping on his blankets and whatever right up against the wall on the western side. There you go, homeless on the western side. That's capitalism for you. Socialism, communism. This side, there's no homeless people this side. There you go. All that remains now is the basement works at the end there, and up above you've got the wall from the Soviet occupation. But this is quite interesting, this bit here. The end building above there would have been the Inspectorate of Concentration Camps in the 1930s. The Inspectorate of Concentration Camps. And then these bits along here would have been SS Leadership Headquarters. This would have been the footprint of a hotel built in the 1880s that became the main office of the SS. Again in the 1930s. Even prior to the Second World War, they'd started bricking up windows as a precaution. Just imagine, they call this the topology de terrors. Just imagine the decisions that were made here. can make use of the library there and the document facility to look at quite a lot of stuff. This open air bit is open access. It's pretty cool, but it's quite sombering. So the Gestapo these are from the Gestapo headquarters, main gates. Left there from the Russian occupation. So in this run of buildings, of which the basements are all that exist, were secret state police, the Gestapo, the SS and the Inspectorate of Concentration Camps, all in these 200-300 yard stretch. And the later edition of the Berlin Wall and the remnants of that. Just went into the museum bit there. It's free of charge, and it's very, very comprehensive, the stuff they've got there. When you read even their definition of it, is this is where the Nazis managed their regime of terror. On a slightly lighter note, from the Russian era, we have the Trabants. Got a fair few as well, getting on for 100 I would imagine.
Was?
the Brandenberg Gate. The end of my morning's tour of Berlin. It's now getting on for 11, 12 o'clock, and I've got to get some lunch and move on to the airport. I just been to the Holocaust Museum and the monument. That's quite impressive. Huge, but very impressive. Different thing to the gates. It's it's kind of weird. And before that, 100 yards before that, was the former site of Adolf Hitler's bunker, where he committed suicide. And there's just a little marker post there. The site was blown up by the Russians in 1947. So there we go, there's the gate in the background. Yeah, all that's at the site of Hitler's bunker is a signboard showing you a map of how it used to look. They've built on it, there's a car park there, and certainly no shrine.